I've noticed then, okay, there were a lot of women, because I've seen women who left corporate because it was toxic and they decided to put their mental health first. But speaking now of emotional, and we are more emotional, which is why I said I wouldn't. Okay, I've never been in the situation where I'm forced to do it, but I don't think I would leave my job just because, Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So we are the Tech Sisters, as you already know. You know you missed us. I am your host, Nomfundondala, and I'm with my co-host.
Hi everyone, I am Tobeka Shabalala. Welcome.
So first things first, we want to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers. A few months back, we put ourselves out there and started this channel. We didn't think that it would grow so quickly, and the amount of love that we've received from you guys is epic. So we want to just say thank you so much. Our family is growing, and we couldn't be here and we wouldn't be doing this if you guys were not giving us the positive feedback that we have been getting. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's encouraging.
It's very encouraging because then we know that what we're doing is
Bringing something.
exactly, it's being well received, and we're just not playing around. Right. And also, we just wanted to mention that we're starting a new segment on our socials. We haven't given it a name yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still going to come up with a name. But essentially, what we're going to do is have like, how do I call it? Like feedback, not feedback.
No, so key pointers from conversations that we have on the channel,
Yeah.
just so that people can maybe get a teaser if they don't really want to go watch the whole thing.
No,
And
you must go watch the
then
whole
they
thing.
will.
You must go and watch the whole thing.
But you must watch the whole thing because obviously it's just very little. It's nothing compared to what we put out there. So
Yeah, so I think it's also like maybe our take on what we thought of the video and or the podcast or the episode, whatever that we would have had. So it's after a guest has come, we'll just give our feedback on what we thought, key takeaways, points, nuggets, whatever. So we'll come up with a name. You guys can suggest some names for us. So yeah.
yeah. But do you think it would be interesting if other people share their takeaways as well?
Oh.
Maybe, but we'll think about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll think of that, but I think it sounds like a really great idea. That
Yeah.
that seems
Yeah.
nice. All right. So over the past few months now, if you've watched our channel, of which you should be loyal to us. Um, we've spoken a lot about imposter syndrome and around women in tech and all of that, and I think that we just want to not really dive deeper into imposter syndrome because that would be boring. Our channel would be based on imposter
Imposter
syndrome,
syndrome.
but we just want to speak on like maybe ways on how to manage it because we did speak about we are experiencing it in the form that it comes and how it affects us. But my sister over here is quite an advocate for mental health, mindfulness in the workspace. So yeah, we'll just maybe talk a little bit about being mindful, some mental health in the workspace, and how to, I think it can help. I'm not saying it's like the remedy for imposter syndrome, but I think it can, assist a little bit here and there. But let's start off with what is mindfulness to you? Like when we speak of mindfulness in the workplace, like what is that to you?
So, sure, it's multifaceted
Okay.
in the sense that there's an aspect of being present, right? There's an aspect of you being present in whatever you're doing. So if right now you're sitting in a meeting, are you actually scrolling on your phone? Because most of us are either remote or some people even scroll in office actually. But anyway, if you're in a meeting, are you actually scrolling on your phone or are you actually really present, right? So that's number one. Number two is obviously being able to disengage. Once 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever time you knock off, once that hits, are you able to actually disengage from work and now be present at home? Whether you stay alone, whether you stay with someone, like what are you doing after hours? Or is your mind still on work? And you might as well be working, right?
Okay.
So it's multifaceted in that state. And also then the other one is being mindful of self.
Okay.
Do you know when the battery is low? Your self battery is low, or do you just keep going and going and going? So those are the facets that I think of when I think mindfulness.
Okay. So you spoke about you're in a meeting and you're on your phone. Do you think that is it because the meeting is boring? Like why? Because I think a lot of us get on our phones whilst we're listening to a meeting or while someone is presenting, whatever the case may be, and and I think this happens a lot. And then they call your name. Sorry, I
And then
didn't
I
catch
didn't,
that.
yeah,
I lost my network there.
right. So it's not even that the meeting is boring. So not to say that I'm an expert in any way, right?
Okay.
But they do say that studies have shown our attention span has dropped a lot,
Yeah.
right? So it's really hard to listen in for too long. And there are many things, like I said, I'm not an expert. There are many things that they say have contributed to that,
Okay. Yeah.
whether it's phone, social media, there's a lot, right?
Okay.
So it's our attention span, number one. Number two, it's really not being able to be in the moment.
But how do I be in the moment? Because
Yeah.
to be honest, I feel like it's things that interest us for me. But maybe I'm not interested in, listening to this, and I'm just gonna go on TikTok whilst listening, whilst being in a meeting.
Yes.
That's toxic.
so 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 you can do a couple of things, right?
Okay.
So if you're in a meeting, perhaps putting your phone on do not disturb, focus mode, where you know that no notifications will come in. Because probably the reason why you opened your phone in the first place while in a meeting is because something popped up, right? At the corner of your eye, like something popped up and you probably opened your phone. So there are a couple of things you can do. If you remote working, then obviously turning off emails. There's certain things you can do that work for you
Okay.
in order for you to then be mindful and in the moment.
All right. So you also then spoke about disengaging and being present at home, or like doing other stuff outside work. Okay, I just want to ask you, like, personally, what else do you do besides working? Okay, you have to cook and you probably watch a few stuff on Netflix or catch up on series. Is that all that you do? Or you
No,
gym?
that's not all.
You
That's
go
not
to the
all.
gym.
So generally, if I have not either gone for a run or gone to the gym, chances are my day is not so great.
Okay.
So that's one. So obviously, maybe prior to starting my day, a run, gym, those are the two things for me that I need, right?
Okay.
Then obviously it feels like I follow a certain routine, right? For
I
me.
think I feel it. Yeah.
Because it will be gym or running, coming back, obviously getting ready for the day,
Okay.
having my coffee and breakfast. So
Okay.
those are things that kind of must happen
Okay.
as I go in. Like as I think I said in one of my Toastmaster sessions that I'm a person who I'm easing into the day, if I can put it that way.
Okay. When you do
So
all of
I
those
ease
things.
into the day, yes.
Okay.
Because the moment just literally wake up, because some days obviously you have you have deadlines, and then you just have to rush into the day. You literally have to come back,
Yeah.
no gym, no running, and get started, right? So I prefer to ease into the day, right? So before the start of the workday, those are the things that I'll do, right? And then after the workday, as much as possible, trying to log off at a specific time, right? Trying to log off at a specific time. And then in terms of cooking, maybe during lunchtime, I'll try cook some stuff or cook in bulk in order to really disengage and not feel like I'm disengaging from work to work again, right?
Okay.
So maybe you have some of your stuff cooked and prepared, you're just cooking a little bit. Then there's dishes, then there's Netflix and chill for a little bit. And then
And then your
at a
day is done.
certain time, I have to sleep.
And then your day is done.
And then my day is done.
That's all.
Mostly.
That's
Mostly.
boring.
That's boring. During the week, that's mostly it, honestly.
Yeah, I think maybe when you have a routine, you get used to it and
Yes.
stuff like that. But when also, I think it also depends. It's not easy, maybe to tell someone, maybe a
It's not a
bachelor.
hard and fast rule.
Yeah, because maybe you tell someone who's living alone that, are disengaged. They have nothing to do.
They can read a book also, sometimes reading.
People don't like reading.
Why?
People don't like reading. People don't like exercising.
Why?
Like the things you like to do, people don't like
it's
to
not
do.
about
People don't like
like,
cooking.
I not even liking it.
It's having to do it. I know
Doing the
it's
things that
hard.
that are hard to do, but at the end of the day, they benefit you, you know?
All right.
So for me, even if I say exercising, I go to the gym, I run. If you enjoy walking, like walk, take a walk.
It's cold.
It's not that bad.
Okay, it's fine.
Put on gloves, okay? Something, anything.
So, now coming back to practicing mindfulness and putting do you think you put your mental health like as a priority when it comes to work?
Definitely.
So, have you ever been in a situation where you feel like my mental health is at stake here at work?
Honestly.
Yeah, and not like your mental health. Like I feel. I mean, we all face challenges at work, and you just want to punch a colleague sometimes in the
If I'm
face.
being honest, I don't think I've even gotten too critical. Where I feel like,
This is too much.
no.
Okay.
I think because again, like if I have to disengage, like literally log off, take a walk, I'll do that during
Okay.
my day.
Okay.
So that so it's part of not letting yourself get too red battery wise. Like if you feel like, you know what, this person said something that's really triggering to me, and if I could, I'd respond to them now. Like I'd rather get away from my machine and then come back when I'm calm. So I think I've tried my best to get to a place where if I feel like something is too much, move away, come back, right?
Okay.
If I feel like I need to gym before work, I can't force myself to say, no, I'll start at 7. I'd rather start at 9 if I have to, just so that I've gotten in the endorphins that I need for the day.
So, if now this constantly happens, let's say, for example, there's this one person at work, who's constantly on your neck, or, they just crucifying you all the time. So, do you constantly disengage? Is that your thing? Like, I'm disengaging. Let's say they
No.
do it at 12. Let's say they do it at 8 a.m. You disengage. They do it, you come back, and then they do it again. You come back, and then they do it again.
Then I need to quit my job. Okay, no. So if it's in that stage, you have to deal with it, right?
Okay.
So you really
First
have to, like again, it's really listening in to what's going on.
Okay.
Like, am I taking it too personally, or is this person just being mean? You know.
Okay.
Then if it's really getting to a point where it's 8, 9, 10, the same person, then probably you need to escalate. You can either talk to them,
Okay.
if you can, if they listen. If they don't listen, surely there's someone above them that who can hopefully get to them, like just so that they understand how they're making you feel. Because at the end of the day, it's about how they're making you feel. And if they're not making you feel right, then probably you're not showing up as yourself. You're probably making mistakes. Because I think I've had a situation where it felt like someone is just like they're not for me, and they were.
At
And
work.
honestly, I made a lot of mistakes
At
at
work.
work. Yes.
Okay.
Like you really end up making a lot. But then it was when we had to be in the office.
Okay.
So there was no running away from the person.
Again, here's my
I
question.
could always, there was like a balcony where I could literally get out and
And so you
stand
go
and,
stand at balcony
you
and
know,
come down.
but they are right there. We are in the office.
So how do you deal with that? Because now you know it's different when someone has annoyed you
Yes.
and their name is
They
just
are
on the
online.
screen, and you're just like, let me hide.
Yes.
First, there's three dots. They hide the person so they don't see their name.
I think, if they're in person, it's very difficult. But like I said, I had a balcony that I could,
Okay.
right? And then I think I had colleagues who could see that, and I think if someone else feels like they feel what you're feeling, you kind of feel better. But honestly, it's about talking to that person
Yeah.
if possible.
Because you can't always use the balcony to escape.
Yes, it's either you'll talk to them, and again, there's probably someone above them who maybe can get some sense into them. If all else fails, change your environment.
Change your
Because
environment.
sometimes we stick around for very long, and in places where you end up really like off, like red and even empty, and then
So I want us to get to that part, but before I wanna get there, I wanna ask now: Do you think that being women in this male-dominated industry has a lot of impact in our mental health? Like, do you think that for the mere fact that we are women in tech, we are bound to experience more mental health issues or, imposter syndrome more because of the industry, or is it, just a corporate thing that's there? Being you are a CA, being you are marketing, PR, whatever.
I think it's hard to say. It's hard to say that it's just a woman thing, right?
Okay.
The only difference I think is we are more emotional, and we probably will react more emotionally
Then logic.
than first thinking through things. We probably
Not
will.
me, but okay.
You are a woman. You probably will.
Not me.
You probably will.
Okay.
Right? And unless obviously you've got ways of
Yeah.
being logic first, then emotion after. But we probably will react emotionally, and maybe we feel it more, and maybe that's why we think it's only women. But I've had an interesting conversation with someone in senior management recently who said, "No, I also experience imposter syndrome, and it's a male."
You lie.
But obviously, they then shared a way that they deal with imposter syndrome. So it's all about. There's a TikTok video going around of a little boy who talks about it's not about what you
Oh,
experience,
I
it's
saw
about
that.
how you react to it.
I saw that.
So I think at the end of the day, it's how you react to either imposter syndrome, how you react to your environment, that really changes the narrative for yourself.
So when I first joined corporate, and we'll obviously in the next few videos, you guys must stay tuned, which is why you need to subscribe. We'll delve a little bit deeper into the corporate culture. But when I first joined corporate, I was nervous, right? And I did my research on like the do's and not to do's of corporate. And I found a few interesting videos and, like do the bare minimum
Oh no.
and, put your mental health first. And I was like a little bit confused that, and I thought, okay. And, because a lot of people said the people who are like climbing up the corporate ladder are doing little, and you're working yourself hard to the grave and all of that. And a lot of those were American
Okay.
creators, right? And then versus South African CIOs, like people in the CIO positions were saying, you need to work twice as hard. You need to work your arse off, and, on all of those. And then I've noticed then, okay, there were a lot of women, because I've seen women who left corporate because it was toxic and they decided to put their mental health first. But speaking now of emotional, and we are more emotional, which is why I said I wouldn't, okay, I've never been in the situation where I'm forced to do it, but I don't think I would leave my job just because, so and so is not treating me well, and people are leaving their jobs without a plan. I left my job, no plan, no, and I'm trusting the process, and look, the process is not going to pay my bills. So
Yep.
I, what's your take on that? People leaving, their jobs because, they're not being treated well, because their mental health is at stake and whatnot. What do you think?
It's a difficult one.
Okay.
Um, at the end of the day, it's each to his own, right? But having said that, right, I think more than anything, it's how did the person react as they were seeing their mental health deteriorating through the process of being in corporate? Those are the things for me I would ask because
So you said that you shouldn't allow yourself to get to red. So they
yes,
watched themselves get to
getting there
red.
and
Okay.
continue and set and watch someone either
Bully
driving them
them.
to that level
Okay.
without either addressing it with them or
Okay.
with senior management or with someone else, or even because yes, leaving corporate is an extreme, right? But like I said, each to his own.
Yeah.
Maybe for them it made sense, but probably you could have applied for another job before you got to a place where because I mean,
Ta-da. Surprise.
because I mean, there are you're probably in a field where there are other companies that are looking for someone like you, right? So maybe before you get to that point, literally,
Okay,
get out of that place, right? But on the other hand, what if my destiny is entrepreneurship? Maybe that's why you left, and
but
but
you must have a
everything you
plan.
yes, but everything you get into has its level of hard, and it will probably also drive your mental health out of the woods. So
I think that
everything is hard.
choose your heart.
Choose your heart.
I
you know.
think that so I don't know if maybe I come from a background or from a community where there's lack of employment, and the moment you get a job or you are in a place where you are, you have a good job and whatnot, it's not to be taken for granted. Because if right now, for example, I had to call my mom or my dad and say, I've left my job because someone at work wasn't treating me, they wouldn't have it. I don't know also why I'm reporting to my parents at this age. They wouldn't have it because I think it's that thing you would see. No, like you pray. Because I remember my grandmother would say to me, if someone like at work doesn't treat you well, go to the bathroom, cry, pray,
Cry it
and
out
come
and come
back.
back.
Exactly. So, which is why when I see when I see people just leaving their jobs because maybe their mental health was at stake and whatnot, I wonder if maybe it's what we're spreading around on social media, because social media is so easy to,
Influential.
it's very influential, so easy to take whatever people are saying. Are we spreading around the fact that put your mental health first? If someone at work is not treating you right, leave. Well, I wouldn't leave because then I'm also very revengeful. I'll treat you with the way you're treating me. But I think that maybe we should give people different perspective, because then you seeing so and so got 1 million views, 500,000 likes, they've left their job and things are not working well for them, and you're thinking, well, screw it because I'm not happy here. Her story is not your story. How
Yep.
it worked for her is not going to work out for you. And then next thing, you're in debt. You have bills to pay. They're going to come and repossess your car, and you're going to get evicted out of your apartment or your house. So how do we now spread the fact that, okay, look, you're in a toxic place, you're in a toxic position. We've said speak to the person or change your environment, but what else can someone do? Let's say they are in a position where they can't really change their jobs because maybe, I don't know, there isn't much jobs. They've been applying but no luck, so I'm stuck here until I retire.
Sure. I would say literally sit down and plan it out. Think about it. Like, really think. I actually opened a page here from my notebook. Where is it? They say abundant thinkers plan 3 to 5 years out.
What does that mean?
Abundant thinkers.
What does that mean?
You plan ahead.
But what do you
3
mean
to 5
abundant
years.
thinkers?
You're thinking of yourself as someone who has okay, so sit with yourself, right? And realize that your mental health or the state that you're in at that time, is it something that defines you? Or do you see yourself outside of it at some point? So for example, I don't want to name any mental health issues, but for example, if right now I have a mental breakdown, seeing yourself outside of it. So I'm seeing myself 3 years down the line where I'm healthy, I'm happy, I've got everything together, right? So you're sitting right now, you're in a place where you don't know what to do, you can't change organizations. So I'm seeing myself 3 years down the line. I'm at a place where I'm maybe out of this environment and I plan ahead, right?
Okay.
If entrepreneurship is the way to go, what is the plan? Like what plan do you have for it?
Okay.
And is what you are planning now getting you to a place where you are healthy, you are happy, you are okay. You are not sitting here with a mental breakdown. But plan 3 to 5 years down the line. And then if really you have to leave, then without a plan, at least you would have written down something that will navigate you to a place of healthy, happy, and full.
I've been planning to go to the gym for the past 3 to 5 years. So I see myself
There.
there. One day is one
But
day.
that's the mindset shift. You need a mindset shift.
All right.
Right.
So with the rise of, remote hybrid working, and we spoke about, how you can see someone's name on the screen and it annoys you, and versus going to the office, constantly, which is, I don't know if maybe that also has an effect in our mental health and how we handle situations. But how does one now navigate? Okay, I work from home and I can just literally close this laptop and ignore this person. And then versus now, I'm at the office. You go to the balcony. Not every company has a balcony.
You can still run away.
But if you're a hybrid worker, you run away from them, from the thingy,
The laptop.
but you have to see them tomorrow. You didn't deal with it today because you're thinking, oh, well, let me just hide them, or let me just ignore them, let me just put them on mute. But then tomorrow you have to face them, and they're going to ask you the same questions. They're going to trigger you the same way they triggered you yesterday. How do you balance the two? Online, offline.
It's difficult. I
Yeah,
won't lie.
because
It's
I
a
feel like
difficult one.
we can't constantly be running away from the person. But speaking of, let's say, sit them down. How do I now come to you? Okay, Tobega, yesterday I didn't So okay, yesterday, let's say you said something really mean to me.
Don't focus on the problem. Focus on your feelings. How did they make you feel?
What? So 17 lah. There are no feelings here.
The thing is, you need to find a way of communicating with them in a way that they're not going to be defensive. So they can't be defensive about how you felt in that moment, right? But if you focus on the problem, let's say, for example, let me think coding. You had a line of code that didn't work, and
You forgot a
maybe
semicolon.
no, nothing, not that easy, not that easy. So
You push to prod.
you did some. Okay, no, I think let's just talk of how you approached a certain piece of code. You approached it in a way that you thought is best, right?
Okay.
And then maybe they have a different opinion on how you approached it.
Okay.
Maybe they are a person who is, it's either you do it this way or you don't do it at all kind of situation,
okay.
right? So you guys probably had obviously a back and forth because you're like, no, you're explaining your side. This is why I did it this way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other person is like, no, but this is why I think you should do it this way. But you really do not agree on the approach. And obviously it's upsetting if someone keeps saying, no, do it my way or the highway, basically, right? So rather than focusing on that, if I come back to you tomorrow and I start up that conversation again, are we going to get anywhere?
No.
Because you still have your way of doing it.
Yeah.
But if I then come to you and explain to you how that conversation that we had made me feel, and perhaps they can then self introspect in how they deal with,
Will they though?
they might not, but they cannot argue with how they make you feel. But if you start up the whole, I did it this way because guess what, defense, and then you guys keep at it. And we get nowhere. And then you get triggered, you get upset again. And now you're sitting in front of them and then you're going to start crying or
But
whatever.
speaking of that, like, how do you deal with people who, like, they want way to be done? They want things to be done their way. I know this code works and it makes sense, and you know it saves maybe, it's more optimized. You know, like it saves storage and space and all of that, and it can save us money. Versus now, you want me to do your way because that's the way that you know.
It's again difficult. It depends on it depends on the person. Like, are they open minded? And again, if all else fails, they have someone above them who maybe can mediate. Maybe you can be three of y'all in the room if it's in person. If it's online, ask to set up a session with both of them. You explain your side of things, and then maybe someone can mediate. And sadly, sometimes you just have to go with their way. Sadly, the sad part.
How humbling. Or
The
just punch
sad
them
part.
in the face.
Wow.
Nadlala.
Then you go to jail,
Nadlala.
and then your mental health is gone.
Or not. I mean, apparently jail's nice, but okay.
Wow.
Okay. No, I hear you.
So
And
yeah.
so, do you think that mental health is gender specific?
No,
Is it?
no, not at all.
So, do you think that men, the same way we asked that men
Yep.
experience imposter syndrome,
I believe
they
so.
go through mental health issues at work?
I believe so because I have attended a session where a male person explained how they went through a mental breakdown, and recovering from a mental breakdown is not easy. So hence I'm saying, do not wait to get to zero.
Okay.
So apparently you literally have to relearn how to set boundaries, relearn how to do so. If it's very extreme, it's even relearning how to sort of get into a routine. It's like you're starting off as a baby in corporate, basically, because now you're relearning certain things about how to deal with work. How do I log off at a certain time? How do I set boundaries? How do I, like,
I
yeah,
think it's just
the
probably
recovery is hectic.
I
So don't get there.
it's probably just because women are more vocal about things, you know, like
Yeah.
mental health, imposter
But
syndrome, and
thankfully it's
feelings.
changed. That is changing.
Is it?
Yes.
Actually, it might, because I saw the statistics for the Offers and Developers report, and for the past years, there has been a gender pay gap of men getting paid more than women.
Yes.
And for I don't know if it's the first time in history, but okay, maybe not the first time in history. Okay, but I don't know. People who are in the age, the 2000s, the Gen Zs, people in the age, I think 2020 something to 24 something, women are getting paid more than men.
Is it?
So I think,
And it's because we have advocates now.
like us,
Besides us, even male advocates,
allies.
allies.
But you know, I think that we are working towards equality. We're going towards that.
We're getting there.
But do we want equality though? Do we really
Hey.
want equality? Do we know what it means to be equal in the workspace?
It's about knowing what it means.
Because I think we're so vocal on, men, we should be treated the same as men and whatnot. But do we know? like what it means. Because, you know, someone said to me that I think it's better just to be a woman in corporate or in tech or whatever, because maybe sometimes they like look at like workload and feel like, ah man, let's not give it to her, let's just give it to a guy, right? And maybe I don't know if you want the workload, because no, I'm fine.
For me, it's don't discount me. So don't say that I can't. Don't not give it to me because
Because
you
you're a
feel like
woman.
I can't.
No,
And
but
I can only give it to a certain person, right? I think for me that's where that conversation goes. But going back to a mental health discussion, it's like, can you take on the work that they are giving you? If you can't, be honest. If they're giving you too much, because sometimes you'll find that they give you way too much.
okay.
I don't know why. I don't know what's the reason. But now you find yourself having to split yourself 3 times. You literally have 3 meetings booked in your diary for the same time. Which one must you attend?
Okay.
So the question then becomes, why are they giving me so much? And then if you feel like it's too much, be honest enough to say, okay, I've got this and this and this meeting. Who can I delegate to it? Hopefully, if you're because chances are you in a senior position for you to have 3 meetings in your diary. So who can you delegate, and be honest with yourself to say, okay, I can't attend this one. Maybe I can ask Nomfundo to join this one for me and feedback to me, or I can politely decline the other one and ask for them to move it to a later stage because I'm double booked. All those things, it comes with all those things in terms of boundaries, so that your mental health still stays intact.
My fear is saying that we want to be equal as men in the workspace, only for us to not be able to handle things the way they handle them. Because
But why should you handle it as them?
no, but that's what I'm saying. If we are being honest, maybe the reason why there's inequality is because we aren't the same.
We shouldn't be. No one is asking us to be the same as them, right?
So why do we want
No one.
equality then?
Equality doesn't mean that I'm gonna now become a man in how I do things.
What does it mean for you?
Equality means that, for example, like the example I just made, right? If there's a specific piece of work, don't say that it's only for certain people, certain men in the team, because you've discounted my ability to do something, right? So that's one thing. If I get into, like, I've read a book, or books, because reading is a thing.
For you.
So they say that it's not to say that when you get into a leadership position, for example, you now in a room full of men, no one said act like them. Don't now pretend you're in a boys' club. Still lead with your emotions, because that's what we need. Your emotions are part of you. So don't now want to be hardball, and all of a sudden you don't understand when a woman is pregnant and having to take leave because when you are part of the boys. No, like, lead with empathy as you would in any other situation. Be a woman, but play the game as they would, because corporate is a game and it's how you play it.
I am going to play the devil's advocate, but we're not going to have a conversation today.
We shall park that conversation.
So we are going to have quite an interesting conversation. So I'll play the devil's advocate when we have the conversation, because I have mixed emotions about all of this, but anyways, that's fine. Anyways, so just to wrap up, if you are experiencing mental health issues, punch the person in the face.
Wow.
I'm joking. What should people do? Go to the balcony if your office has a balcony.
No, if you need to, like, some people don't take leave. Like, it's simple things, man. Leave is you've been given leave for a reason.
But you know,
Take it.
actually, there's some organizations where you have leave. It's like you are given leave days,
Yeah, yeah.
and you probably ask for it like 2 weeks, even a month in advance, that okay, on the certain day I want to take leave, and then they don't grant it to you.
Yes, yeah, I've heard of that situation. And thankfully, I've never had that. I am able to take my leave. But yeah, man, it's navigating all those challenges because, and then I don't know if they said give it a month in advance, then do it. Do it like that. Give it in a month in advance. If you're still experiencing someone high, then you need to kind of question: is it personal? Is it not? Again, addressing it with the person. So, what would work best for me to be able to take my leave? Because you need it. You need time off. They
Yeah.
even say even if you're not going on vacation, take some time just to have the day to yourself. Sleeping does wonders. Like a whole day of sleep. Like I've taken leave to sleep, guys.
You lie.
Promise you, I've taken a day off just to sleep. And I literally slept, woke up, slept, woke up because my body, like I could tell, I needed it. So take your leave, be selfish. Like literally, be selfish.
South Africans get leaves or like long weekends only to come back tired the following day.
Because they decided to not use it properly. But no, like you take time to rest
Okay.
and be selfish with your time. If on the weekend you need maybe this weekend just to rest and you don't want to take calls, do that if you must. Like one thing sometimes I get asked, why do you go on vacation without your child? Because I needed the time away. I needed the time away. So again, it's mindfulness. Know yourself. Like, what do I need at this moment? And do it. Do I need a massage? Do it. Do I need to just sleep? Do it. So really zone in on self first, and then the other external things will kind of
Yeah.
fall into place. So I think that's the biggest. Zone in on self and how you're feeling, and know what you need right now and do it for yourself, and have boundaries, of course.
Okay. Well, that's it from us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to comment,
And
share, so that our channel grows and the algorithm
Yeah.
grows. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.
Bye.